Hey y'all. Um, Welcome to another episode of Visual Studio Toolbox Live. I'm your host, Leslie Richardson, coming at you from behind the scenes in Microsoft proper. I had to come in the office today. So, welcome to the wonderful, boring focus room that I've set up shop in for today. So, thanks y'all for coming once again. We're going to talk about some cool Visual Studio stuff. So, a couple weeks ago, we actually discussed some new developments in the latest 17.9 update that happened with Visual Studio. And we're kind of following up on that because some of you are probably wondering, but what about all of the cool Unreal and C++ developments that came up since then? Well, I'm pleased to tell you it gets its own episode. So join me today for that is David Lee from the C++ team, back yet again for another fun episode. Hey, David.
Hey Leslie, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about all the great C++ and Unreal Engine integrations that we're bringing to Visual Studio. It's been a while since I was here.
Yeah, I don't remember when the last time it was. Shoot, you've been gone too long. I guess it was
Yeah,
like last
it
year sometime, right?
yeah, it's been a while, but the team has definitely been working really hard to build amazing C++ features, um, right from the feedbacks of game developers. So I think I like to do this every single time I'm on here, but I always like to start off by thanking everybody who has contributed and given us feedback, whether it's through either through the show or reaching out to me on Twitter, or even filing a developer community tickets. Your voice is really important, and that's how the team is able to build so many cool features for game developers.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to jump in, and if you're digging what you're seeing, y'all, feel free to follow along. I'm assuming is all of this available in 17.9 or 17.10 preview one?
Yes, some of these are available in 17.9, and some features are under a gradual rollout. So that means some users may have it, but others might not. But I'll point those out in a sec. But some of these features you might have seen before are from even previous releases. But it's definitely been a while since I showed up here with all the game dev features. But I'll I'll show my game developer audience a lot of the cool features we worked on ever since the last time I was here.
Awesome. Cool. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about the stuff that you're seeing, anything about Unreal and C++, don't hesitate to ask in the chat and we'll do our best to help answer them. So, ready to go?
Yeah, let's get started.
Cool.
So first, I want to talk about performance. I know performance is it's been talked about a lot in the past, but once again, it's one area that we're continuing to focus on to give you more speed, to give you shorten your iteration time so so you can actually spend your time on other things. For example, this last few months, we have been really focused on colorization for large C++ projects. This is one of the themes that we're continuing to focus on. And as you can see here, there's definitely we've been trimming down some colorization speed. So this is when you open up a file for the first time, and it takes a second or two to get all your code colorized. So for maybe for your smaller projects, you may not see the difference, but we have definitely been working a lot on focusing on large C++ projects. Um, this is this is just one of the things that I think, please give us continue feedback, especially in other areas that you might be bothered by speed. So let us know, and we'll focus on those areas to give you back some of those much needed time.
Cool. It's always exciting to see dips in performance or drop, or I guess increased performance or better performance like this.
Yeah.
It's
So
great to see a dip in
well,
the graph like this, I should say.
better performance, better productivity. That's what we're here for, to empower everyone.
Sweet.
So aside from, for example, the colorization, which it's an area you may encounter during design time. We have also improved launch performance for debugging. So this is the time it takes when you press F5 until the debugger launches. Once again, there has been great improvement for all projects, but this time around, we did make a lot of focus on large projects, large C++ projects. So you see, before it took around 24 seconds, and now it takes roughly 17 and 17.8. And another thing I like to add is um, we have been testing these on both Unreal Engine 5 and a lot of our internal game studio partners. So some of the AAA games you see out there and you play it, whether you play on your Xbox or your PC, we actually take those projects and use it to benchmark the performance of Visual Studio.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
great to see.
And lastly, just to round out the developer inner loop, is build times. This is, this is an area that we definitely hear a lot from too. So improving the time that it takes for build to take. So we all know that massive AAA games, C++ games takes quite a long time to build. And this is specifically for the MSVC, our compiler, the link time generation. So for this, as you can see here, with some anonymized AAA games, but I can assure you some of them are out there that probably a lot of the audience play, but especially for AAA game one, we have taken up to almost 3,000 seconds down to 1,000. So, this is, imagine the time you can save. Like maybe you don't have that extra 2,000 seconds to get distracted or play some ping pong with your friends maybe. So we're making you more productive by cutting down build times.
No more coffee time. Bummer.
I'm
But yeah,
kidding.
oh, what a
You can
yeah,
always, if you're more productive, there's actually more time for coffee, right?
that's true. Shoot, yeah.
Yep.
That's so exciting to see. I'm super curious what these games, particularly game number one, represents, or like what game it actually was. I'm like trying to guess what it could be.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to guess, but unfortunately, well, the names will have to stay sealed.
Ah, dying. But yeah, really cool to see that significant speed up. I mean, I'm sure it must have been really cool to be able to tally up this data and be like, oh my
Mhm.
God, look at the drop. So
Exactly, and it's definitely very happy to see our AAA partners and hear their feedback and hear their joy once we make this change.
exciting stuff. Shoot. So that's
Yeah,
just on the performance front.
exactly.
Great start.
So, so that's performance. Now let's get into Unreal Engine and C++.
Cool.
One of the first announcements that I have is now available as a preview feature. You can actually directly edit U projects. So no more generating VS Solution. I know that's a workflow that many of you Unreal developers are used to out there. So now in Visual Studio, you can directly open a U project. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that is great. That seems pretty tedious to have to create this arbitrary solution that maybe you don't need or isn't part of your usual workflow. So
Yeah, and it comes with a lot of benefits. So you definitely have all the great IntelliSense and debugging support. But for example, now if you want to add a file to your U project or just create a whole bunch of files, you don't have to keep like refreshing your project by running UBT. You don't have to generate your solutions every time you add a file. But I do want to share that this is a still work in progress. We definitely wanted to give an earlier version out um, that is only for Unreal Engine 5.4. So for those of you who does have access to Unreal Engine 5.4 in Epic's GitHub, you can try it out today. We are very, very, very looking for the community to help us send us feedback, what works, what doesn't, because this is we're spending a lot of energy on this, and we want to make sure this new workflow for Unreal Engine developers is as good as it can be. So for those of you who do have a chance to try this out, please let us know. It's very important to so we can know, like, what do you think about this? How can we improve it?
Great. Yeah, really cool to see. I imagine this was just a pretty frustrating little thing you have to do. Little, but the time and frustration adds up.
Yeah, through our conversations with game developers, it's definitely been one of those pain areas that many Unreal Engine developers have grown accustomed to. So I do think might be a little bit adjustment to the workflow, but I think it will be all for the better because this new way will be more intuitive and more streamlined. So yeah.
Cool.
All right. So with that said, that's some of the announcements, but let's jump into Visual Studio and see some code. So here, I'm at the Lyra Starter game, which is the famous Unreal Engine 5 sample project. Um, and there's two things that I wanted to share that is a little bit more behind the scenes.
Ooh.
So first of all, we have rolled out a feature in 17.9 that updates the way that IntelliSense um, is read from Unreal Engine projects. So this will actually reduce a lot of the false positives because Unreal Engine has a lot of generated header files. So this is another one of the more popular community feedback to reduce the errors that you see. So hopefully we've gotten rid of a lot of false positives, but if you ever see more, you know where to talk to. It's just go on Twitter or send us a developer community tickets, and we'll take a look and try to get rid of all the false positives that might exist for Unreal Engine. And the other thing that I want to share that is behind the scenes is, now this is a feature that is being gradually rolled out. So not everyone would have it, but if you're on 17.9 or even 17.10 preview, there is a chance. So one of it's where it's not discriminatory. One of my machines might have it. My other one doesn't. So luckily this machine does have it. So, and that is Blueprint references no longer requires the Unreal Engine plugin. So before, we had the Unreal Engine plugin from the marketplace or on GitHub. Um, you had to use that plugin in order to see the Blueprint references. But now we parse your assets directly, so you don't need that plugin for Blueprint references anymore.
Nice. So I take it that plugin isn't necessarily integral to everyone's Unreal development environment.
So we're still keeping that plugin available as there is other components such as the Unreal Engine test adapter that depends on the plugin. And I think everyone should write tests. But if for some reason you're just prototyping and you don't need that many tests, it's not a requirement to have that plugin anymore. But I do encourage everyone to have tests. Like don't just uninstall the plugin and all of a sudden you can't see your tests in Visual Studio.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's explore this code a little bit. I'm in the file lar health component.cpp, which is a file that does a lot have to do with a character specific health. As you can see here, there's a damage self-destruct. And as you walk through the code, um, there's some new things that you might have seen during the What's New episode with Leslie previously, but
Mhm.
I definitely wanted to highlight here again. One is the color braces. So parentheses and braces are now colored. And the other one is the sticky scroll you see up here on your screen. Um, so this is very, very useful. For example, when you have a deeply nested function that you can't really refactor out, right?
Yeah.
If you have a lot of nests, I remember the time where I reached to a point to the code that I just had to scroll up and down, up and down, up and down, just to try to see some context. And even I remembered back in the days, like a long, long time ago, where you didn't have this, um, where you didn't have this visual alignment feature. So that was probably a long time
Oh
ago.
gosh,
Um,
I can't
so you
imagine.
have to like kind of use your eyes to aim to see like is this
Right.
still within scope, right?
Chances are my eyes are gonna be wrong. I have glasses for a
E-
reason. So
Exactly. So
yeah.
these two features go hand in hand to help you with additional context as you're reading through your code, especially the ones with deeper nests. And now let's go to this header file. And a quick trick for those of you don't know, if you want to switch between CPP and headers, you can press Control K and Control O, and that'll get you to the header file real quick.
Mm,
So
convenient.
here we can see is the class U Lara Health component. Um, and if we hover over it, there is a class. We have some documentation that is read from the comments, but we now see size and alignment. I think last time I was here, I might have showed this before, but we have an extension to showing the size and alignment. As you can see here, the size is 328 bytes and the alignment is 8 bytes. We can now go to the memory layout and take a deeper look. So in game development, memory management is everything. The way that you lay out your classes really matters if you're trying to maximize the memory usage. So for example, as we scroll through this colorful view, we come down to the bottom, which is two new functions that I added earlier. Here you can see there is a elara def state that has an offset of 312, so that's where it is in terms
Mm,
of this class. And the size of it is a byte. And then I added this invert health state, right? So now you can see we have all of this memory that is not being used. And we could actually save and shorten and improve the memory layout by moving this bool over here. So to do that, let's go all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and here we have two U properties, and I haven't finished editing this. So let's finish typing the parameters out. And when I type E, member list shows up. Now this is the newest feature that was highly requested by the community, that we show Unreal Engine's macro specifiers in the member list. So as you're working on your Unreal Engine macros, you can now see all the suggestions related to a specific macro. For example, here is edit anywhere. And it will show the related documentation. Um, so that's that's great. Let us know what do you think, because I definitely heard many of you asking about this feature. So let's have edit anywhere, blueprint read write, and then category, and then the value we can do Lyra and health. And so you might have caught there, category expanded as a little snippet, so you can just directly type what your the value that you want. Okay.
That's very nice. Something about the memory layout. I don't recall having seen that. Is that whole window new or?
That is new. That is another one of the new things that we added, to help developers, especially game developers, to more efficiently optimize the memory. So let's save this file. We can close the old one. And then if we go up to this one, oh, I don't think it's updated yet. My bad. We forgot to actually move this to optimize it. So let's put the bool right after this enum, which both has the size one byte, right?
Mhm.
So let's just cut and then paste it here. Let's save it and wait for the save to complete. And let's see if it's updated. Okay, great. Now we reduce the size from 328 bytes to 320. Let's open up the memory layout. And see now, because we changed the order that the class is being laid out, we
Mhm.
have this enum and then the bool.
That
Isn't that
is really
amazing?
cool. Yeah, I love this. I love this visual representation because yeah, memory can be a real pain in the butt. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's really cool. A really great way for us visual people to better understand
So
where we have space or where we don't.
yeah, so this is, I know it's just a small example, but for those of you who has been wanting to make your memory layout a little bit better, we hope that this view will come in handy, and just to throw it out there, you know, even though this is one example, don't just try to fit in things like dominoes or Legos or Tetris. You do have to consider your overall class, as there might be some dependencies for your code to break when you move stuff. But
Mm.
this is a great starting point for and a tool for you to take a look at how your memory is.
Cool. I really look forward to seeing how Copilot's gonna get involved with this if it's not already, in order to give you like memory-based insights
Hmm.
on
And
where things could be
yeah,
improved.
I'm glad you mentioned Copilot, because I think the next time I'll be back, I'll be showing everyone how Copilot can work with Unreal Engine.
Sweet. Teasing. Cool.
Yeah.
So I do have one question from chat that's more, I guess, more of a general C++ question, but I figured since we're in the transition into the next feature, it might be worth asking. So Full Snable asked, is there some support in VC++ to easily switch between an array of structures and a structure of arrays?
Um, I don't think so, but I'll need to double check. But it's thanks for the comment. I think that is something that the team can look into. As I know the different representations between the array of structs and structs of arrays have been um, have been mentioned by quite a few game developers I've talked to in the past. So um, if you wouldn't mind, please make a developer community ticket suggestion, and just send it to me via Twitter, or you can in and just or email me at David d.lee at Microsoft. That's how you can reach me. And yeah, and we'll investigate and see how we can help.
Cool. Yeah, clearly those are getting read because a lot of a lot of these features are very much the result of customer feedback from the sound of it. So
Yeah, it's your comments are definitely getting read from surveys, from the tickets, to interviews, to social media. It's the team do read them, and that's how we are able to get a lot of these amazing ideas as we work with you, the community.
awesome. Cool. So anything else to share, David, or wrapping up?
No, I think that's it for this episode.
Cool. Yeah, short, sweet, and to the point. That I think all that is very exciting stuff. The perf improvements, massive from the looks of it. And yeah, just I mean the memory management and how much easier that all seems is great. And all of that combined
Mhm.
with, of course, recent quality of life changes from Visual Studio and recent um, updates is super exciting. So if people want to go learn more about any of that, where should people go? I know you had a couple AKA links as it
Yeah,
relates.
I definitely encourage to I definitely encourage everyone to view our year in review blog, and um, let me share the link here.
Share it with me in
Um,
the private chat. I can drop it in the
okay,
the main chat. Yep.
yeah. No, I don't have it handy, but I can find it in real quick.
I can try to find it too. What was it called?
Um, I don't have an aka.memes link, but I have the full link here. So let me
Cool.
put it in chat.
Awesome. Cool. It's like State of the Union for C++. Or
It's so
game dev.
take the time to read the blog. It encapsulates a lot of you've seen today, but also what we have done in the past year.
Cool. And it's the chat as we speak. So yeah, definitely go check that out. I'm sure that's a really good broad overview. And yeah, other than that, anything else, David? You already mentioned, you already plugged the dev community or the developer community.
Hmm.
Seriously, real people read those. I actually just triaged a couple myself this morning. So, um, yeah, please send all of your feedback there. And David, thank you so much for being on the show as always. It's really cool to see all the latest in game development land. So I'm looking forward to the next one. I know you already teased Copilot stuff, so
Yep.
that should be pretty exciting. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Oh, also before we close, we got a shout out about the new Visual Studio UI. I did want to shout that out. I feel like it's a subtle thing, but I actually really like it too. It's like nice round edges and stuff. I don't know about you, but it's like just feels sleek and clean.
Yep.
But
I love it.
yeah, doesn't get enough credit. I don't think we called it out in the What's New in 17.9 episode. So yeah, shout it out now. It's great. I love it. Cool. So David, yeah, thanks once again. And thank you to everybody who showed up to watch and check out the latest, greatest in C++ game development with Unreal. And stay tuned for more because you never know what's going to pop up next. And who knows, maybe the next feature will be whatever your customer feature request is. So stay
Yep.
tuned. Cool. With that, happy coding, y'all.
Happy coding.
I say as I try to cancel us out. Here we go. Bye for real. Here's the thanks.